One plastic bag. Do you see it as something useful? Do you think it could be harmless? What about if you had thousands of plastic bags? Would you still think that they're useful? Do you think they are still harmless? In One Plastic Bag, Isa Tusi say and the Recycling Women of Gambia, they start to have the same question. On the way home, Isa too discovered a plastic bag, and she noticed that it had a lot of uses and she could carry items. But when it broke, what use was it to her? And the many people in Gambia did not see the harm in all these plastic bags, but then they started to show up all around the village, and one became thousands and many more covering the streets. And soon the livestock and goats started to eat the plastic bags and become very sick. And so Isa too knew something had to be done with all of this plastic trash. So she had a plan, and she gathered other women of the village to try to find a way to cut back on this plastic waste. They had to work in secret because they weren't really sure if their ideas would work or if others would approve of them, but they really hoped that they were going to make a difference. If you read this true story, you can see how recycling changed a village. Ada's Violin is the story of a recycled orchestra of Paraguay, written by Susan Hood. Imagine a place where an instrument is worth more than a house. And so owning one is almost impossible when you're poor. This was Ada's reality. She loved listening to music with her family, and having the opportunity to learn how to play music would be a dream that was out of reach for her and the other children of her village in Paraguay, because they couldn't afford an instrument of their own to use. Determined to make it possible, many men of the town came together and created some ideas to use the only materials that they had, which was the discarded items in the trash around them. So they used the trash and leftover items left outside and created some very unlikely instruments. This inspiring true story showed how recycling was able to use to create an orchestra, and this orchestra still thrives today. Are you able to read this? Some students see words and sentences in any text in this way every time they try to read. Fish in a tree. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its life believing it is stupid. That's what Allie Nickerson thought every day. She felt like a fish trying to climb that tree, feeling stupid. And so for her, it was easier to cause trouble than allow teachers and students in the class to realize the struggles that she was having. And then she thought that no one would ever be able to understand or care about her until she meets a new teacher, Mr. Daniels. And this new teacher is different. He sees her abilities, but he also recognizes something in her struggles. And he's different, and he seems to care, but Allie's still not sure. She doesn't know if he's for real, and she's still unsure if she will ever be able to learn to read or write. If you read Fish in a Tree by Linda Mullally Hunt, you can find out if Allie ever learns to climb that tree.